they adjust in the form of a mechanism which makes them call regulators. And some organisms, based on their method of adjustments, would be called as conformers. What are regulators? What are conformers? So, irrespective of external challenges, irrespective of abiotic external challenges or demands or stress in general, they in general do not modify internally. So they have constant internal metabolism regarding certain factors, especially when there are thermal stress. Thermal means what? Heat. You will understand this. For example, certain reptiles and mammals, largely mammals. You understand this? They regulate their metabolism in such a way that their internal metabolic functions do not change according to external demands, especially to thermal stress or thermal demand. For example, constant core body temperature. You understand this? Irrespective of external temperature changes, makes you a homeotherm. Homeothermy, endothermy. For example, mammals. For example, take Homo sapiens sapiens. Yes. So what is that here? They maintain. They are also called as homeotherms, also called as endotherms. They maintain constant core body temperature. Yes or no? If temperature increases, you call it as what? Fever. Hyperthermia is not normal. Yes or no? Okay, so that means constant core body temperature is normal, irrespective of external temperature changes. You understand this? So this is what is your body doing? Which part of your body is responsible for maintenance of constant core body temperature? Somebody said this is a revision class. What a joke. Yeah? You know hypothalamus? Where is it? Where is hypothalamus in your body? Hello? Oh man, you donated that also along with heart? Feb 14th, people do near Indira Park, organ donation camp. Where is hypothalamus? Backside, kidney. No. Next to the knee joint, is it? Seriously? Hypothalamus is that organ which connects the central nervous system with the endocrine system. A very important organ. And hypothalamus is also called as thermostat of your body. What is thermostat? Controls temperature, regulates temperature. Automatic electrical equipment. Geyser, iron box, air conditioner. Automatic. Yes or no? Okay, fine. So what is that we are looking at here? Simple example. Homeotherms are those organisms which maintain regulated constant core body temperature, that is thermoregulation, irrespective of external temperature variations. And what is that organ in your body which is responsible for thermoregulation? Come on. Don't tell me hypothalamus. I was expecting that. Which organ is responsible for thermoregulation in your body? Ear. Humans, in you. Ear, is it? That's a new idea. We'll try. Don't look at each other. Come on. Skin. Skin. The largest organ in your body is Skin. And what is the most important function of your body apart from applying makeup? What is the function of skin? Why you need skin? Thermoregulation. Surface area of the skin is so large, it can lose heat or conserve. Thus maintain temperature balance. Okay, anyways. So regulators, example is this. Conformers. What are conformers? Those which cannot regulate their internal metabolism and change their internal metabolism according to external conditions. Please remember, the goal is to survive. No matter what you do, the goal is to. So there is nothing which is wrong or right. Don't keep that as a stereotype. This should be like this only. That should be like that only. Women should be like this only. Men should be like that only. They don't exist. Except in your wildest possible imaginations. Because of others who told you so. You know what? You're not living your own life by your own terms. You know that? Well, that's a bit of truth at the end of the day. Yeah? So conformers are those which do not have any control over their internal metabolic functions and whose internal metabolic activities change according to external demands or stress or challenges. For example again, poikilotherms. Which kilo? Which kilo? Poikilotherms. So their internal temperature, inside the body temperature, changes according to external changes in the temperature. So thermoregulation is not present in their bodies. For example, plants, some aquatic creatures, some reptiles. Hence, we have a term, of course it was a previous question also, match the following type of question. Often organisms which are homeotherms are also called as warm-blooded. Whereas organisms which are poikilotherms are called as cold-blooded. Usually you will see cold-blooded murder in the newspaper. Yes or no? Oh damn it, what is cold-blooded murder? Now you have some idea, don't you? Yeah? You get the point? So human being, a Homo sapiens sapiens is an example of warm-blooded organism. And if a human kills another human in a very violent, in a very savage manner, in such a way that that's not humanly seen elsewhere or anywhere in the past, then that type of activity is termed by media as cold, not like a human, very violent. Cutting another human's body into small pieces. What Kima, what you're doing? Small pieces. To kill a person, you don't have to cut the body into small pieces. Small blade, small cut here will kill the person. Very small blade, 1.5 centimeter, small cut here can kill a person. You don't have to cut every part of the body, unless you're doing an autopsy. Yes or no? But some people do. That kind of thing is termed by media as, you understand? Contextually, not literally. Yes, okay, fine. So just a few things here. What is that we are looking at here? Adjustment is not same in all organisms. It is different in different organisms here. Yes. So next type of equilibrium can be seen, ecologically speaking, in the form of what? Having diversity. Please remember, should there be a question, biological diversity is an example of which of the following phenomena, if or should there be a question? As part of homeostasis. Can be one valid option. Can be. Yes. So, please remember why there are varieties of organisms. Why you are the way you are. And why snakes are the way they are. Why spiders are the way they are. And why there are varieties of living organisms living in the same area or region? Though temperature is same in that area, water availability is same, nutrient content is same, precipitation is same, pH is same, gravity is same, humidity is same, everything is same, but still you have varieties of living organisms in that area. Why? All organisms are similar to, why they are not similar to each other? Why there are varieties? Look at the forest. Even a small strip of forest of just 1 square kilometer will have varieties of living organisms. Some are trees, some are plants, some are algae, some are fungi, some mushrooms are fungi. Yes, some are insects, some are flying insects, some are reptiles. There are some amphibians, and there are some birds, there are some mammals, and there's so many varieties. Why? In that small strip of forest, every abiotic factor is same for all. Then is everything same for all? Now, that goes a long way. We'll understand. We have a separate discussion of biological diversity as well here. So, diversity is whenever there is a change in abiotic factor, even a microscopic change, any change. As we mentioned in the previous session, certain organisms can live in a wide range of salinity, moisture, temperature. We call them as eurythermal. Salinity, wide-ranging salt concentrations, we call them as euryhaline, we mentioned, if you remember. And those organisms which live in a narrow range of temperature, we call them as stenothermal. And narrow range of salt concentrations, we call them as stenohaline. So, even pH also. A small change would be perceived as a very serious challenge to some organisms. So, whatever happens as a consequence of this would result in a change. Change in their what? Another term here, observe, niche or niche. Doesn't matter, American or British pronunciation. Niche or niche. Doesn't matter how you pronounce. As long as you know the contextual meaning of that term. How to use it, where to use it, what is the meaning. Yes? What is that here? The concept of niche or niche here. This is nothing but, in general, what is niche? Unique functional role played or fulfilled by an organism or by a group of organisms in a given ecosystem. This changes whenever there is a significant change in the abiotic factors. For example, as long as there is availability of irrigation and water, rice can be grown. Rice is a water intense crop, you know that. If water availability or irrigation is scarce, would you still consume rice as your staple food? No, you cannot. Your food preferences would alter. You understand this? So the role played by rice in your life will change or not? Okay. Similarly, coastal communities consume fish as staple food. For example, you go to West Bengal, I have a lot of friends there. They consume march bath. March means fish, bath means rice. Morning march bath, snacks march bath, lunch march bath, evening snacks march bath, dinner march bath. The only point where I'm waiting is humans are not becoming fishes. Otherwise, they have fish in every part of their life. Okay, so a lot of people here. Morning, the moment they wake up, what do? They go to water body to catch fish. Their day starts with fish, ends with fish, and everything is fishy in between. Do you understand this? The only change which is waiting to happen is humans turning to become, because some people say you are what you eat. You didn't turn into chicken or mutton. Telangana, lot of mutton. And West Bengal, lot of fish. Kerala, man, seriously? Yeah? Okay. That is not true. You don't become what you eat. Okay? Don't worry. Otherwise, most of the people, carnivorous creatures, would have become chickens or muttons. Yes? You still look like humans to me. Yes, nah? So you are not what you eat. Okay? You are higher up. You are what you think, Okay. whatever it is. Niche, unique functional role played by a species of organisms. For example, there are herbivores. Herbivore means a plant-eating organism. What is its functional role? To eat plants. If they don't survive, then who will eat plants? If they don't survive, what is the food of carnivores? So they play a role. Which role? Food niche. You understand this? Okay. Similarly, there is biological identity, sex. For example, male and female. What is the role of female? No, I'm not suffering from a disease called as patriarchy yet. Don't assume, oh, this fellow, only female highlighting, not male, he is highlighting. Hey, don't jump into such conclusions and don't judge me too quickly. Because you have no idea from where I come, what I did. You understand this? Don't judge too quickly. Take your time. It's okay. You have entire life to judge me. Yes and no? Yes? What is the role of females in the life of humans? Okay, let's give human. What is the role of female? Continuation of genetic legacy. Giving birth to offsprings. Though some people are challenging it nowadays, thanks to UPSC exam preparation, whatever it is. Role of female. Which niche? Reproductive niche. Can males give birth to offsprings? Try. It's okay, no problem. I'll keep you in museum. Yes? Can you give birth to a child? You can try. Is it possible? Biologically? Can you fulfill the reproductive niche role? No, you cannot. Even if you want to, whether you are a feminist or not. Now, all those feminists should open their eyes. Yes. Can males give birth and fulfill the reproductive niche role? Then who can? Only female. You understand this? You get the point? Now, except this, females want to do everything else. That is their choice. Supporting that doesn't make you a feminist. You cannot change biology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you? Through surgery, can you change? Sorry. We failed. Some people transplanted uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes into males. Come on, hey, give birth. Sorry, not possible. Some things you have to accept. You cannot question and challenge everything because you have freedom of speech and expression. Because you have some letters written as fundamental rights in the Constitution, you cannot change principles of biology. I'm sorry. You understand this. You better understand this contextually. Okay, don't ask me, hey, what do you want to prove now? Nothing. Your exam is enough for you. Yes or no? I don't exist. What is that here? Reproductive niche. You understand this? Okay, so likewise, different species of organisms fulfill different functional roles. Now, when there is a challenge or stress which necessitates organisms to change their niche, then emerges variety of organisms. When organisms fulfilling a particular niche are no more able to fulfill the same niche because of competition, because of resource scarcity or abundance, or because of any kind of genetic changes occurring. When organisms have to change their niche, there exists a variety or diversity. So biodiversity in general, well, there are two perspectives to look at it. We mentioned about that earlier. In one perspective, you can say that organisms are not same, they are different from each other and they fulfill different functional roles. Hence, they are not equal, not identical, and they are hierarchically arranged. You understand this? Hierarchy is ecological hierarchy. We used this term earlier, if you remember. Ecological hierarchy, yes or no? So, and some organisms are considered as beneficial or more useful to the ecosystem than some other organisms. You understand this? Some organisms' role is more significant in ecosystem than some other organisms' role. Role means functional role. Nish. Accordingly, we evaluate biodiversity. And biodiversity almost always, whenever you talk about niche, almost always talks about interdependency. Why males are dependent on females? Because only females can give birth to offspring and continue your genetic legacy. Why males want females? Why males control females? Why males dominate females? Why can't they be independent? Can males be independent? Never ever. Can males be complete? Never ever. Can they have their family? Never ever. Can they continue their genetic legacy into the future? By themselves. Never ever. And hence they want someone. And they choose someone. They control someone. They regulate and thus establish a family and continue the genetic legacy. Hence, females were considered as property and possessiveness developed among. Competition existed and then patriarchy emerged. This can be seen in animals also. For example, silverbacks. What are they? What is silverback? Gorilla. You can see patriarchy. Who taught them? You? Think about it. Okay, fine. So, few organisms you can see. But again, variety. This diversity results in what? A very, very important application you have to understand here. Interdependency. Interdependency leads to what? Yes, please. Interdependency leads to balance. In the previous session, we mentioned about this, that various castes, various occupations, various colors, don't you think, would also create similar scenario in a society? What is that similar scenario? Yes, what is that? Interdependency. Now, interdependency leads to balance or not? Why do you care someone? Because there is benefit. Because you are dependent on that person for something. If not, would you care? Think about it. Take all your time of 1 second and answer me. Why do you care someone? Why do you act as you are listening to someone? Not here. Okay. Yeah? Why do you wear a mask in front of someone? Not the mask I wear. Come on. Yeah? I'm not talking about makeup during arranged marriages. Hey, seriously, no. None of my business. Why? Because you are dependent on them, or there is some benefit because of the person to you. And that person or that thing can influence you either positively or negatively. Only then you would care. Otherwise you wouldn't. Yes or no? Forget about emotions, they are temporary. Don't do dramas here. Yes? All the ships you jumped into or trying to jump into. Which ship? He is wondering, damn it, which class is this? Mistakenly I came. Yeah? Which ship? Hey, some expert is talking. Relationship, it seems. Journey going on? Not yet. Planning. Waiting, till next February 14th. What we're talking about here is interdependency. Yes or no? Think about it. Why do you care your parents? Because they pay your bills. If they stop paying, you will be beggar on the road. Yes or no? Hence you care. You listen to them. Emotions are temporary. Trust me. I know more about emotions than you do because I opened many bodies and we have seen hormones which are responsible for emotions. They're temporary, you know. They last for only a few minutes. You know that? You should know that. Then why do you care someone? Because there is either a benefit because of the person, or the person can influence you either negatively or positively, or that person has something you want. Hence you care. Otherwise you don't. Do you care all the people in society on the street? No, you don't. Only few. Why? Now when different groups of people have different occupations and they provide goods or services to you which you need, which you cannot survive without, would you care them? Yes, you would. And you have some goods or services which others want, without which they cannot survive. They would also care you. And thus establishes interdependency. And this was associated with caste and caste-specific exclusive occupations in simple rural Indian society. That was the reason why that simple Indian rural society was stable and had a peace and harmony in spite of varieties of castes and varieties of caste-specific traditional occupations. Interdependency itself is the reason for security, safety, peace, harmony and balance of society. Now what's happening to that? Change? Good or bad? Oh, you are an anthropologist. Come on. Why am I asking you? Similarly, if varieties of organisms are not present in a given ecosystem, thus there will be no interdependency, then only few species would dominate and others would perish. That would cause ecological imbalance. You'll understand this. So usually abiotic components do not allow any one species to dominate others. You will understand this. So they change in such a way that different organisms will have different advantages during different time periods. So all can survive, none can dominate. Are you able to understand this? But another concept here, some regions, for example, we call them as ecotope. Again, please understand some terms are coming here. For example, niche, something like that. What is ecotope? Ecotope is a region or regions with similar abiotic composition. Simple it is. And because abiotic composition is similar, biotic, that means living organisms are also same in that region. These are very small regions. And these are rarely found on the earth. And organisms which survive in those regions would be seen nowhere else. Pushpa. What is Pushpa? Who is Pushpa? Not Pushparaj. It's all about Pterocarpus santalinus. We call it as red sanders. Is seen only in a narrow strip of forest, Eastern Ghats component. Why? The abiotic composition is same there, supporting a particular type or group of organisms, seen nowhere else in the world. And thus emerges another concept from this called as species endemism. We will talk about that in biodiversity. What is endemism? Endo means what? Within. The phenomenon of existence of certain species of organisms only in certain geographical regions on the earth and nowhere else on the earth. That phenomenon is called as species endemism. That is because of existence of ecotopes. But these are rare. Then rarity is exception. Exception is not an example. Then what is? Most commonly seen, most abundant. Hence, most of the ecosystems are not ecotopes. You will understand this. They have diversity. Diversity and endemism actually are antagonistic to each other. You know that? Endemism means a particular type of species seen only in some region, nowhere else in the world. But biodiversity means varieties and none dominates. You'll understand this. Okay, human settlements, are they examples of biodiversity? No. Because human population is increasing at the cost of other organisms. We are actually antagonistic to biodiversity. Human population increase is opposite to biodiversity. Welcome to India. Who are we? Most populous country in the world. That means you cannot consume meat or flesh and preach peace. Can you? Can you? By blood dripping your mouth and bloody hands, can you preach peace? Hello? Talk to me. Most human population. Can you say that you support biodiversity? Oh, come on. There should be some relationship between what you preach and what you practice. But India is a mega biodiversity nation. We'll talk about that. We're trying a lot to prove what we are not. Oh, come on, paradoxical, isn't it? Okay, third component of equilibrium or homeostasis. Ecological. In ecological context, diversity. Change in niche. This happens continuously. Please understand this. This happens continuously in ecosystems or in many regions. Second is what? Organisms change. Yes. First is what? Feedback. Nature. Though it is not a single component and though it is not living, but still it responds. You understand this? So all these three would be part and parcel of third governing principle called as principle of homeostasis in ecological context only. Done? Okay.